Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 10 out of Jake, man. I'm rocking with Charlie, y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on G Herbo, how he was just federally indicted and charged with a $1 million fraud case. Herbert Wright III, more commonly known as Chicago rapper G Herbo, has been charged in a federal fraud case out of Springfield, Massachusetts. Herbo, his music promoter, and others in his entourage have been accused of illegally funding a lavish lifestyle in which they rented private jets, luxury cars, and villas, totaling over $1 million. Over the last 4 years, starting around March 2016, Herbo and his co-defendants allegedly obtained stolen credit card information from other fraud artists and even the dark web. For those that don't know, the dark web is part of the internet that isn't accessible through regular search engines like Google. The internet is comparable to the ocean, in which we've only explored 5% of it. To journey through the deep web is comparable to entering the Matrix, but the dark web is to fall down a rabbit hole of criminal activity, finding drugs, guns, even hitmen for hire on an anonymous black market. More commonly, the dark web is a breeding ground for fraud and identity theft, and a place where one can purchase bins of information, including social security numbers, credit cards, and even tutorials on how to commit fraud. Herbo's crew used fake IDs, driver's licenses, and email accounts in the names of aliases and real businesses to fool companies and individuals. They passed stolen information through text, email, and social media, and because they provided authentic payment card information, the defrauded businesses and individuals processed their transactions and provided the goods and services, including purchasing 2 designer puppies in November of 2017 with a stolen credit card. A screenshot of a fake driver's license was sent to the dog company, but the company asked for a picture of Herbo's co-defendant with the ID, to which he refused. Growing suspicious, the company asked the co-defendant to message them off Herbo's official Instagram for proof, so Herbo received a text from his co-defendant and did it. The transaction was then approved, and the same stolen credit card was used to transport the puppies by car to Chicago. That same year, they go on to make other expensive purchases, including 5-star dinners and renting Bentleys and Maybachs. In February of 2018, Herbo was arrested along with 2 others when his limousine driver informed police they had weapons in the vehicle. He saw Herbo place a handgun in the rear seat pocket, police later recovering 3 weapons: an FN-57 loaded with 30 armor-piercing rounds, a Glock with an extended magazine, and a Masterpiece Arms 5.7 with extended magazines. He was held on a $25,000 bail and placed on electric monitoring. Herbo was arrested again in 2019 after an alleged physical altercation with the mother of his child, Ari Fletcher, later being released on a $2,000 bail. In July of 2019, Herbo sent a message over Instagram to a co-defendant requesting a reservation for a private villa in Jamaica, where they stayed for 5 days thanks to another stolen credit card, according to the indictment. As of right now, Herbo's charged with wire fraud, which carries up to 20 years in federal prison, and aggravated identity theft, which carries a mandatory 2 years consecutive to any other sentence imposed. G Herbo will have to appear in Massachusetts for court, either in person or by Zoom meeting. Now, the only reason I'm surprised by this is because he's a rapper. He's got money. I'm sure his net worth is more than a couple $1 million. But I mean, you know, if you could save a little bit of money and do your thing, why not, right? But it came back to bite him in the ass. Everything that's done online is traceable. To get onto the deep web, the dark web, you have to use Tor, which is a different internet browser. You really want to set it up in a way that you're more anonymous online. You don't want to use your home Wi-Fi, obviously, because the people you're dealing with and contacting, they're trying to get people's information. So who's to say they don't try to grab yours in the process? But everything else, as far as text messages, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, it doesn't matter if it's a 24-hour post. It doesn't matter if you delete it after it was sent. They can recover every single picture and text message taken from your phone. It's called a cell phone data extraction. The police used it in one of my cases, in which I was accused of having a Tinder profile of a female, and I was using this profile to commit robberies. I ended up pleading out to assault with a firearm after I was accused of chasing somebody with a gun and attempting to rob them. But everything inside of your phone is completely accessible, and a lot of people be thinking that just because they deleted it, it isn't there. Also, when people are committing crimes over the phone, it seems that there's a lot of people that have a fuck it mentality. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna go through with it. It is what it is. I don't think I'm gonna get caught. And when you've been doing something for 4 years, you think you got away with it. You think you're in the clear until boom, they hit you and it's like, look, we know you've been doing this since all the way back then. Now, growing up in Tampa, I was always told fraud is the way to go. Especially when I was inside of the county jail. All the dudes that were doing drops, which is tax fraud, they had plugs. Females inside of the hospitals provided them social security numbers, date of births, etc. And they're doing taxes and they're getting it sent to a green dot card. And they're getting a lot of money and they're hitting. You know what I'm saying? At one point it was like $9,500 per drop, per tax return. Then they went down to $7,500. The lower you went, the more or less likely you were to be caught. The higher you went, the more likely you were to get fucked. The queen of Tampa, the drop queen, she got sentenced, I don't know, it was like 20 to 30 years in prison. And the reason they always said fraud was the way to go because it's a victimless crime, meaning you're not hurting anyone. It's not victimless. Obviously, you're affecting somebody's pockets and bank account, but no one's getting hurt, nobody's getting killed. And they always said you could get less time in the federal system for fraud charges. From what I've heard, that's true. You're not getting as much time as violent offenses, but in his case, he's facing up to 20 years. Now, do I think he's gonna get the 20? Not necessarily. There's a lot of things that they're gonna have to prove, more or less, that he was directly doing things and that it wasn't his co-defendants. You know, he can deny his knowledge of what other people were doing without admitting to what they were doing. If you say my promoter used a fake card to purchase a villa, I didn't know that. I didn't know he did that. I'm not saying he did or didn't, but I'm just saying I'm unaware of the whole fucking situation. I'm $1 million rapper and I pay him and he does whatever. So we're gonna have to see how it plays out. It seems like the feds are fucking sweeping up every single rapper. And I noticed on my last video, it was on a gang indictment. And then everyone starts commenting, oh, are you a gang member? Aren't you in a gang? Listen, that was a gang indictment video. Feds, I'm a YouTuber. I am a Jimmy Neutron at this point. Do not ask me about no fucking gang because I don't know if they're gonna try to do a YouTube gang sweep and I don't wanna be a part of it. But hey, it's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with Charlie. Y'all rocking with me. Till next time.